take notes on your show.
Oh, crap. Wait a minute. I got to read. Hang on. Hi. Luann, sit down.
I'm sorry.
That fan
I'm
is...
used to having to finagle my phone.
The last time I finaggled something, I got pregnant.
Okay. No. Read the script. Stay on script.
Okay. We are the Spiritual Neighborhood. The Spiritual Neighborhood is a grassroots community project of the Council of Families for Children, a 501c3 nonprofit. Am I saying that right? 501c3? 501c3?
501 or 501c3 PO, and I don't think that's correct, but...
I always wonder, because I get confused. We believe that sick can be fixed, so we support services that improve the quality of life for the body, mind, and spirit for the integration of a healthy, happy human. And today we have my favorite person of all, because she reminds me of me. Bless her heart.
Well, I've got the
Elizabeth, I'm going to slap all four of your cheeks individually. Audra Watley. And Audra, what are you going to talk about today, honey?
No, I was going to say it's going to be as big a surprise for you guys as it is for me.
Yay. I love those shows. Go ahead and finagle us. Finiggle us.
I love it. I love that. Look, we're going to talk about something, and I know it's important.
I know, right? Here's what I've been seeing the most of lately, and literally, like, starting last Thursday. Like, Thursday morning, I was so tired. It just felt like I was so dragged down. And then I talked to my office manager, and she said the same thing. And the first three patients said the same thing. So by the third or fourth patient, I was like, you're the seventh person today that's pretty much described that you are walking through 10 inches of mud in a fog. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So when I see that kind of pattern in my practice,
what the hell was that?
When I see that sort of pattern in my practice, I just start going, okay, energetically, there's so much going on, not just because of COVID, but if you've ever heard of Schumann's resonance, I understand that that's spiking.
Yes.
What is that? What is that? I haven't heard that. What is that?
Schumann's resonance, I would actually have to go look it up to give you the exact definition or whatever it is, but it's basically it's like measuring the magnetic field of the planet or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's just kind of a pattern. And when something has been at a particular level for a really long time, and that's what we're accustomed to, because it's been pretty much the same for hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of years. And then you start seeing these spikes. And when you see those spikes, it's kind of like, I think there was I think there was one of those spikes on 9/11. And, recently with all of this stuff going on, there's been spike after spike after spike this year. So it's like, what is that resonance measuring? I don't really know exactly. But like I said, there's something in the energetic field of the planet, and our bodies don't escape that. Right.
Okay, there is what you're talking about right now, talking about the Schumann resonance. So if there is a global increase in anxiety or tension, this will also affect the Schumann resonance.
Okay. And so
just exactly what you said.
Right. She's smart. That's why we have her here. She's smart.
So whether it's whether it's a chicken and the egg thing. So our anxiety is what spikes it, or whether it spikes and that's why we have anxiety. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Right. But it's just fascinating because, we're so quick to think, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me.
Mm-hmm. I never think that.
You don't ever get tired and think you're sick?
No, I get tired and think people bug the shit out of me.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, it's the truth. I do.
But it's like most people, it's like when they start feeling that really dragged down, tired and fatigued, they start thinking that there's something wrong with them physiologically. And what I'm saying is that it's not just you, right? It's not,
because I am exhausted. I am.
It's not just you, right? It's a planetary thing that's going on. And right now, the best thing that we can do is take some deep breaths, drink our water or whatever you got there.
Protein shake, Atkins.
Oh, you're right. And, just keep going.
Right? It's a planetary thing that
I'm hearing myself back again.
Luann.
sorry, my fault.
Okay. So, and it's like, that's just kind of my message today is that, there's, if you have a history of thyroid problems and you're feeling extra super tired, it's not that you need to go up your medication necessarily things like that. It's just like really, just really knowing that it is an energetic, everybody's experiencing it sort of thing, that it's not just your body. And that's what like I said, I've told probably, I don't know, I can't even tell you how many people in the last week. It seems to be a little bit better starting yesterday and today. And so some of that's starting to lift a little bit energetically, especially now that the storms have already hit.
Yes.
All the dogs, even still somewhat today, but they seem to be getting a little better too.
Yeah. That feeling of that pressure was real for me with that storm coming, especially the last 2 days. And today's the first day I've kind of felt like myself.
Well, see, I had a crying fit this morning, so maybe it was because I was feeling relief. But I was just like, I just got on my pity party and was like, oh, damn, nobody's on my side, blah, 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 poor, pitiful me. And that lasted a good 5 minutes. And I say, oh, I'm bored with this. Let's do something else. So maybe it's just relief of the pressure. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that happens to all of us. And it's actually really amazing that you can get out of that in 5 minutes. Most people in it for entirely too.
I get bored easily, even with shit like that. I'm done with it. That's boring. What can we do now? That ADD can work for you in the positive if you let it.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, do you guys have questions about stuff, or you may just keep rattling on about something?
I do. I have a question. A lot of people are asking me, when are you, or do you have any idea when you would be taking new clients?
Actually, we talked about that yesterday, and we are starting to open back up again to taking new clients. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And so what do you think is the thing that most people should get checked out after being quarantined or isolated for so long? Is there like, I guess, if you go to the doctor, they take your blood pressure and they take your temperature. Do you have a step procedure that you look to at first to help? Because they'll come and tell you what they think is wrong, but if they really knew, they wouldn't have to come see you. So, Yeah.
Well, and, one of the things is, because I want to honor their intuition and who they are, it's like, I'm going to check out what they think it is too. Just to,
right.
Just to be sure that isn't part of it. But I don't have a specific thing like that. And, with people that have really been, wearing their mask all of the time or 8 hours at a job or something like that, they're actually, the mask itself, they're more susceptible with rebreathing their own air to respiratory infections and bronchitis. Not necessarily the virus itself, but I'm just saying respiratory infections in that, because we literally in about 4 minutes breathe out anywhere from 500 to 3,000 bacteria. And, that is getting caught on those masks, and you're either rebreathing it or it's depositing on your face. I think we mentioned that last time. So it's like just making sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you're getting a breather and that you're taking big deep breaths, or you're actually staying out of the areas that are a lot of people, and not necessarily because of the virus itself, but because wearing a mask all the time isn't great for you either.
Right.
As far as getting checked out, it's like, the same things that you would always do. There's nothing really a whole lot different right now than there was 6 months ago. At least as far as general everyday health goes, it's a good thing for people to run a blood count. have had several cases where I had older women, like well into their 70s, that their doctor hadn't run a blood count on them in 5 or 6 years. And when they ran a blood count, the doctor scared them half to death because their platelets were low or something else was low. And they pretty much scared them into, oh my God, you have cancer, without anything else. And it's like, wait a minute, you don't have anything to compare to because you didn't run just a regular blood count. Like, how many blood cells do you have, right? So those kind of things. It's like just good basic set of labs. It's going to have not just your cholesterol. They're always going to run cholesterol because they want to give you a drug for it.
Yep. Just went through that with my mom.
Right. I was going to say, but other than that, I mean, they're looking at cholesterol and blood sugar because those are the things that they sell the most drugs for. Right. So you want to make sure, as a general health perspective, that they're looking at, liver function, which is part of a panel that's comprehensive metabolic panel is what they call it. And it's got about 14 different things on it to where it looks at liver enzymes and other things like that. That's a pretty standard thing to be run. I was going to say that one's pretty standard, but then, like I said, TB, which is literally the whole blood count is what the BC is. So, I mean, those basic tests, it's like you can get some really good information from. Usually when you run those, though, they're going to fall in normal range. And we've talked about normal range before. It's like what they're really looking at is the bell curve, and they're only looking at these 5% outliers out here. And so we want to look at closer in to make sure that we don't need more B vitamins or something like that. So other than that, I was going to say it's good to get regular checkups with your doctor, but at the same time, it's like, for the most part, if you're not sick, they're just going to be like, okay, go on about your life. And that's where, if you're not feeling optimal, then looking for healthcare practitioners that are doing more of a functional approach is a great way to go.
I've been wanting to ask this question of somebody, and you probably have a better answer than anybody I know. So it seems to me that in the past 5 days, I don't know if people are just wore out and they can't do it anymore, or if they're encouraged, but it seems like everyone is of the attitude that it's time to lighten up and get out more. I don't know if it's because school started and more kids are going into classrooms, but I'm like, what in the world has determined that it's okay for us to go out and socialize more? I mean, because it seems like people are going from like almost one extreme to another. Everybody was staying in that I know. I'm using this based on the circle of people I know. They were staying in, and now they're going back to church, and they're going out to restaurants once or twice a week. Now they're wearing their masks, granted, but how do you make that decision? And it seems like it went from 0 to 100 overnight. They're really kind of getting back to their old lives, and we're not in our household, but now I'm thinking, well, okay, maybe I need to reconsider this. What do you base it on? What do you look at?
Yeah, I haven't necessarily seen that pattern with my patients yet, but then again, I don't necessarily know what all they do when they're not, telling me what they're doing.
Yeah, what you don't know, you don't need to know.
Yeah, exactly. And and truthfully, it's kind of like, a lot of people are just getting to the point where they're fed up and they're tired of it. And so, they either don't know anybody that's had it, so they're just not concerned, or if they know someone who's had it, they lived and they're fine. So it's like they're the fear around it for some people is starting to lift. But like I said, I don't have a right answer. It has to be the right answer for the person. Right. And so, and school being back in, I don't know what schools down where you guys are doing, but up here in Collin County, it's like we have every variation of, 3 weeks of homes, of online school, and then they're going back in and they can choose whether they want to do homeschool or regular, back to school. And out where my niece and nephew are, it's like they went back 2 weeks ago, just back into the schools themselves. So who knows, I don't know if it's just,
wow.
Yeah.
I want to
don't
go
know.
out more because I have turned the mask into a fashion statement, and I have like 50 now, and I want to go show them off.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Kiss me,
That
you
was
fool.
That is really that's perfect for you.
Thank you. It's my newest one. I have tons and tons of them. And it's just like, okay, I'm ready. This is now my new fashion statement. A hat and a mask. Give me all your money. Ha!
Yeah, right. I literally, this has been a couple of weeks ago, but I had a patient that opened the door with this mask on and a hat. And I said, well, what is this, a holdup?
Yeah. Annie, get your gun. We're here to rob you. So, all right. So, what do you think about this thing that I've been reading about where it says vitamin D and B12 are really something that everyone needs to be taking more of, not just for the virus, but for everything in general? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so B vitamins are water soluble. So, what your body doesn't use, it's going to flush out.
Good, because they taste like candy. I like to chew them.
I was going to say, especially when you get the candy ones.
Yeah. Gummies.
So the thing to look at with those is that, probably 20-ish or a little bit more percent of the population doesn't take B12, and there's like numerous forms. And so a lot of the B12s are like precursors for the usable form, which is methylcobalamin. So you'll see cyanocobalamin and those other things on the label. And so about 20% of the population doesn't take that and turn it into the usable form. So just checking your supplements and making sure that you have a usable form, or if you're doing injections, that they're using a better quality. Because a lot of times if you're just buying them at Costco, they're going to use what's cheapest and not what's the best for you. Vitamin D, as in dog, is fat soluble. So you can get too much, but as a general rule, especially with all of us staying indoors as much as we have been, then a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D. And I saw that even before all of this stuff happened. So we just go from air-conditioned house to air-conditioned car to air-conditioned office and back again. And we just don't spend enough time in the sun. So, a lot of people are deficient on vitamin D. It doesn't hurt to take that, but that is one that you can't have too much of at some point. And when you start getting too much vitamin D, you can actually look at, sorry, I got an itchy nose. You can actually look at the side, if you put side effects of vitamin D, some people will feel their heart racing, or, there's some other signs that too much could be a problem. But for the most part, B vitamins in general, you can get plenty of them if you're eating a good amount of leafy greens. Vitamin D, you're not necessarily going to get from foods. So either being in the sunshine or taking a supplement is the way to go.
Well, is this a service that we could, come to you with? I take a huge amount of vitamins because I have, I don't absorb everything I eat. Okay. So I have to supplement with vitamins, and people would freak out if they knew how much vitamin D I take, but I can tell when I don't have enough because I hurt. So it helps with pain, especially. So, but one of the things that is interesting to me is especially people that do take a lot of supplements and stuff, they don't know how they interact. Like you can't take calcium with iron. That's not going to work. You have to take them separately at different times. Can people say, I need an appointment with you, and bring a list of all of their vitamins with them and have you assess that and make sure that they're taking them right and they're taking the right kind and that type of thing? Because most people are pretty ignorant about what they're doing.
Yeah, and sometimes those are the hardest ones because it's like they've been reading everything and they think they need this laundry list of stuff. When really it's like when you look at labs and then hone in on what the person's actually missing, they feel a lot better with targeted supplementation instead of the shotgun approach. Can somebody just send me a list of supplements?
No, come see you. Have a consultation. And maybe do the blood work,
Yeah, absolutely. And, that is definitely something that I can do. And usually what I have people do is bring me, or send me a picture of the label that has all the listed ingredients, because if they're just giving me a list of the product name, who knows what's in it. So, but yes, absolutely.
Because that's one of the things.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there a supplement that you would recommend over the counter that could actually boost our mood to where we're like maybe not so oppressive, or something that would kind of give us that little spark to, we can get things done, we can get tasks done without having to resort to extreme medication?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that there's one specific supplement. Definitely not that you're going to be able to go to Walmart or whatever to buy.
Right.
And I am very wary about Amazon, because I know people that have bought stuff off of Amazon and then compared it to one that came from the manufacturer, and they don't even look the same on the inside, even though the bottles are exactly the same. So, that being said, really kind of your best boosts are going to be, again, it just goes back to eating clean, and then, looking at and making an appointment with somebody that can kind of help guide you in the right direction for you, because there's no one right answer for everyone.
Right.
And that's why I think the generalized statements like everyone should be on B12 and vitamin D. Well, no, not everyone needs to be. And there's a few people that might actually make them feel worse and not better. But for the most part, it's that's, probably fine for most people. And again, there's no one right answer. That being said, there's a lot of adaptogenic herbs. And in that family is going to be ashwagandha and rhodiola, eleuthero, some of the ginsengs. Those types of products are really great to help us adapt to stress and give you back a little bit of that sparkle. But those kind of things. And those are pretty safe for, the majority of the people. Really, they're just, like I said, they just help to adapt.
Well, that's a really good. I'm glad you mentioned that, because there for a while I was drinking ginseng tea, and now that you've brought that back up, it's like, oh my gosh, I haven't had that in so long. So I need to relook at that, rethink that one.
I was gonna say, the ginseng teas. Ginseng's not my favorite. But it's if it worked for you and you enjoyed it, absolutely, go back to it.
What do you know?
Yeah, sometimes I can't stand the taste of it, but I know that it works. And because I know that it works, that overrides that taste or that gag reflex. It's I know it works. I just do it anyway.
Yeah.
So what do you know about the supplement called SAM-E? SAM-E.
Oh.
I know that it interacts with the pathways that basically turn, beef and turkey into neurotransmitters. I know it's in there somewhere without looking at a chart. I don't remember exactly. Those kind of things, anything that, what's the best I could say this? Anything that is going to push a pathway that has anything to do with brain chemistry, I'm hesitant about saying, that it's good or that it's bad, because it really just depends on the person. And there's definitely people that it's beneficial for, but then there's also people that it can make them feel more unbalanced. And so hopefully it's that's probably not the answer you wanted to hear. But,
no, it was just something that a lot of doctors recommended years ago. We saw a lot of people that were taking it at the council and stuff. And I personally use it for pain. I have fibromyalgia. And if I don't take it, I know the difference. And I don't know of anybody else personally that it does anything good for. They're not a thing. But it does help me with my pain. And it doesn't make any sense why it does to me, but it does. So.
Right. And I mean, it's even things like melatonin, for the most part, melatonin is relatively safe and a lot of people take it for sleep. But then I also am one of those people and have a handful of other people that if I take it, I don't really, it's like I sleep, but my dreams are so vivid that I might sleep. And, those kind of things, it's like, it's very personalized to your body chemistry and who you are. So, it's not that I can't talk about the supplements. I just kind of hesitate to.
Sure. Because you don't want people to get the wrong idea or to make assumptions. I will have to say this, though. Ever since you've been on the show and you start talking about clean eating, I don't know, I'm beginning to put the holistic approach to the witch concept, because ever since you started saying that, I don't want Cheetos anymore. It's like you put some hex on me and I can't eat Cheetos anymore. I'm like, damn it, I really like Cheetos, but they don't do it for me anymore.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, as soon as y'all mentioned the Cheetos thing, I had to go and get one. I just had to go get one. Haven't had it in years, so I went and got a little bag of Cheetos, ate the whole thing, and I thought, okay, I think I'm done with the oil now. I think my gasoline intake is done now. I think we're good.
You're done. Just done.
We're full. The tank is full. But it didn't really give me that zing like we used to.
I know, it's not satisfying.
Like, oh man.
So now I need you to say that about M&Ms, Audra. Tell us that M&Ms is not clean eating. Because that's my new go-to thing, M&Ms. The blue ones especially. Ooh, the blue ones. They're so good.
Well, the color, it's like they don't taste any different. What is about the different colors?
I don't know. Blue tastes better. I'm just telling you. It does.
Oh, they have blue?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that chocolate is bad, because I actually really like chocolate, and chocolate has some great benefits. Dark chocolate obviously is much better because the milk chocolate has more sugar, milk products, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
If you're one of those
good stuff.
If you're one of those people that craves chocolate, you probably have a magnesium deficiency.
I really don't crave chocolate. You know what it is about the M&Ms? It's the texture. My thing about foods is textures. I love crunchy things. So you get the taste of the chocolate, which is good, but I don't really crave chocolate. But I love that crunch, 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 melt. Crunch, 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 melt. And it's the same thing with toffee-covered ice cream. Crunch, crunch, melt.
Well, that's why Kit Kat's so popular.
Yeah.
If it's just crunch, crunch, try celery. But
okay, no. All right, thanks for coming, Audra. See you next time. Bye, baby. Celery.
Crunch, melt.
Okay, try carrot, right? Okay, celery doesn't work. Try carrots. Oh,
Deborah, you could dip your veggies in dark chocolate and then crunch melt.
I have done that. Thank you. I have done that when they've had like those melted fondue things.
Oh my God!
Instead of using bread,
that was great.
I've done that. It works. You just have to get enough chocolate on there to cover up the taste of the vegetable.
Take that celery stick and dip it in that dark chocolate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crunch. Actually,
so Audra, when you were talking about ashwagandha being an adaptogen, I know that several people have said that it's not good for inflammatory diseases such as fibromyalgia. Do you know the analogy there?
I would kind of have to go look and see if I could find research on that. So ashwagandha itself, we use with a lot of thyroid stuff, particularly autoimmune thyroid. So in that aspect, it's like some ashwagandha, even with fibromyalgia patients, depending on what the rest of their biochemistry is doing, a little bit's not going to hurt, right? Okay. So it's like I don't know where it's coming from of not to use it, but if there's a concern there, maybe the rhodiola, or the eulithro, one of those other adaptogenics.
Is that English that you're saying? Is that English?
Yes, that's English, Deborah.
I was going to say. I can start saying Chinese if you really wanted me to.
No, don't do that. Then I'll be really confused. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, see, I have the advantage. After this is over, I can go back to Luann and go, what did she say?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Because sometimes I get lost.
Yeah, I was talking about elderberries, which is where my expertise is, Audra. And I was trying to tell them about the components, the molecules in the elderberry, and their eyes kind of glazed over.
She had
And
words
they said,
this long.
What?
This long. You're like, what?
Yeah. That happens to me when people start talking marketing and internet stuff.
Yes.
Like,
It just depends on which area that you go and get that glassy eye look. It happens to all of us.
I will be the first to say I'm Twitter impaired.
You know what would be fun on this
Me
show,
too.
though? Is if we could get someone to do the closed captioning for us and have them try to type some of this crap out. That would be awesome.
I don't know that we want to see that in print.
Ashwagandha. And 10 minutes later, they're still typing it out,
I'd like to see what the word was that actually came out. That would be fun.
Just call it ashy. She's going to give you some ashy.
That's why.
Ass what?
Yeah, ass white. Ass white.
Ass what? No.
I'm sorry. We've been cooped up too long, Audra. We just,
Obviously, we need to get out.
Yeah.
Well, I get out. I do. I get out.
At least start run around. Chatter at the squirrels if you have to. I don't know.
I do get out. I find I have to get out though. I have to get out from time to time. I can stay home for 4 or 5 days, but then I'm done. I got to get out. But I do try to go outside every day and get some sun because I do recognize that vitamin D is an important player. And we did that with my mom because she was stuck in the house all the time. So I'm very aware of the D, but I prefer to have the natural than something that you take, just to be outside. But here lately.
Not the sources and coming from food. Most of the time is the best way to get it.
Right.
If for whatever reason you don't take carrots and turn it into vitamin A and you're vegetarian, right? So you're not getting that vitamin A from meat sources, then you might need to take vitamin A. But at the same time, it's kind of like if you're getting it from your food sources, then you don't need as much of it. And obviously, foods are going to be a much better option than constantly trying to get all of your nutrition through a pill of some form. But at the same time, that being said, it's like because nutrition is so poor for the majority of people, it's like a good quality multivitamin sometimes is a good thing to do. Now, I say a good quality, that doesn't mean go out to Sam's Club and buy whatever, because when you read that ingredients list, there's something on there that's like one step away from antifreeze, and it's probably going to come out the same way it goes in. Those that are tablets, it's like literally I've had people that told me that their septic tank actually got clogged up because of the vitamins that they had been taking. Going through them. So it's like if it's not dissolving in your gut, then it's not doing you any good. So, like I said, quality definitely makes a difference. And I get it that a multivitamin really is a shotgun approach, but for some people, that's really, small doses of a lot of things is all they need in the short term. So, anyway, that was.
So how do we know if we're not absorbing our vitamins? How do we know that?
Blood work.
Some people say that if you take a multivitamin and that it turns really bright yellow, that you're not absorbing it. That's not necessarily so, because if it's not breaking down at all, then you're not going to know and you're not going to feel any better. So I'm going to say if you're taking a good quality set of vitamins that are targeted for you and you're still not feeling any better, you're missing something or you're not absorbing it. Yeah. And a lot of times it's like with supplements, a lot of times it'll show up in the numbers on your labs as far as, we're making progress or we're not making progress. But you don't necessarily feel a difference with everything. Right. Vitamin D, if your vitamin D is low and you start taking vitamin D, that is something you notice a difference. Like you can really feel a difference. But if you're one of those people that say something like, zinc, if you're low on zinc, you may not notice anything by starting to take zinc, but, levels on your labs will start to normalize out. So, it just depends on what it is. Hopefully that answered your question.
It does. I mean, so if we were to schedule an appointment so that we could have you do the blood work, is that part of that combo that says, okay, according to the labs, this is this and so and so and so forth, so that you can get started on a regime?
Yeah, so we're working on some other stuff, but right this minute we have a package that's like your initial consult, your initial set of labs, and the follow-up for it. It's just those three things, and it runs about $422.
That's a good price.
Okay.
It really is.
Yeah. That's not bad at all.
Because you can actually go and get lab work, and if your insurance doesn't cover it, and it, like through Quest Diagnostics, it can be as much as $800 just for the lab work. So that's an excellent price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the panel of labs than a lot of people's basics. So I did have somebody that went through like Any Lab Test Now, or they went through the retail portal for LabCorp or something like that, or Quest, and they did end up paying close to $800, and they didn't even get as many labs done as what we look at.
Yeah, because of my malabsorption, I have a laundry list of things I should actually get checked, because I mean, literally, I could eat 10,000 calories a day and not get everything I need nutritional wise, because
right.
I don't absorb everything. So I'm very conscious of that. But I have not had the full panel done probably in 5 years, because I'm not going to pay $1,000 or more to go do that. I base it on how I feel. I'm pretty intuitive on what to do. And in fact, I actually quit taking my iron tablet for a while. I felt like it was the right thing to do. And I went and gave blood 2 weeks ago, and I was still in the mid-range on iron. So, that was good to know. So,
yeah,
Andrea, let me ask you this, because this kind of runs into what Deborah was talking about. Listening to our bodies, obviously paying attention to what we're feeling and those kinds of things. There was a time, like with Deborah, that I was taking, I don't know, maybe it was a B vitamin or something, and I just felt like I was done. Mm-hmm. Like, no more. That's it. You've run its course. Does that happen? I mean, really, does that happen frequently? Or can happen frequently?
One of the things that I'm actually putting together is a program to help a person that's not listening to their body, and kind of train them and walk them through how to start listening to your body and use that intuition. So that being said, it's like listening to your body and listening to your intuition is what I try to teach people, because most average people just don't know and they don't listen. So,
right.
Is it possible, or is it likely, or is it even common that your body's telling you, yep, we're done with that, all good? Yeah, it absolutely happens. And, in a spiritual community, in a spiritual neighborhood like this, it's like people are already more in tune because you're in tune energetically anyway, right? So it's like listening that and honoring your intuition and yourself. Fantastic. That's, like I said, that's
awesome.
What I train people to do anyway.
If you're so
awesome.
inclined, I would love for you to do like a little intro segment on that, and let's have it on the show to promote it. I would love to see that if you're inclined. If you don't feel it's appropriate, I get it, but I think that'd be awesome. So
I was like, so part of what it's like I base a lot of it, the plan that I'm putting together. It's like, yes, nutrition is at the foundation. I start everything with nutrition. But then we walk through the 5 elements, and, each of those 5 elements, it has tastes. So if you're craving certain things, or there's body parts, and,
body parts, zombies.
are associated with each of the, there's in each of the 5 elements, there's internal organs and what they call external organs. And then there's your sensory organs. So it's like, if you're not smelling right, then that's going to have to do with the same thing as your lung and large intestine. So, it's like walking through those kind of pieces sometimes helps people start to see the patterns of like, oh, I had this happen. And then I had that health problem. And then after that health problem, I had this health problem and this health problem. And you can like really see the flow through the elements of how when one thing is off, it just triggers a cascade effect if it's not taken care of.
That's because everything's connected.
Wow.
It's, it's like the old song, the hip bone's connected to the thigh bone, the thigh bone's connected to the...
Really?
Yeah, they're all connected. You can't separate it.
I'd like to have you come on the show sometime and explain to us if you're craving this, it's because you lack that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's what I would love, you to just say, okay, if you're this, it's because you need that.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll find one that says you actually do need dark chocolate and lots of it. Who knows?
Beer. Find out what you crave that means you need beer. I need to know that a lot.
You need that glass of red wine.
I don't like red wine.
So if you have a magnesium deficiency, can you actually absorb enough through your skin to correct that?
Magnesium?
That's a really good question. And the answer is I honestly don't know. I would say that depends on person, and it depends on the type of magnesium.
Mm-hmm.
So even taking an Epsom salt bath, you can get magnesium from it, but that's not the best thing for all people. They actually recommend not doing that for diabetics. So, looking at the form of magnesium and seeing what form it is. Now, I know there's one that, and I don't use this, so I don't know that much about it, but the topical magnesium that you can rub on that's supposed to help with muscle cramps and things like that. I know it absorbs some because it takes care of the magnesium, but how systemic it is once you get it in there, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I know that it's getting to the muscle that's right below it because it seems to help, but at the same time, it's like I don't really know how much that's going to shift your overall body's magnesium levels.
I heard through the grapevine 2 things. One is that if you crave ice cream, it means you're dehydrated. So I always crave ice cream, so I started drinking more, and it seems to help. And the other thing I heard is that if you need to get an influx of something into your system quickly and you can't ingest it, that you put it in an enema.
Okay. And some of those more what I call folk remedies, those are fantastic. I just don't know that much about them. I do know some people that do coffee enemas to help clean out their colon. I never tried that. I don't know that I want to try that. But as far as absorption, if you think that your intestines all the way through them, it's basically like a tunnel from your mouth out to the other side. And so it's basically a filter, just like your skin.
And it's very thin. I didn't know how thin it was. But
yeah, it's just your skin turned inside out.
Yeah.
Tube. So it's like just one big continuous tube all the way around us and through us. So but that is where we absorb the majority of things is in the intestines. But we also absorb everything that we come into contact with: shampoo, conditioner, face creams and lotions and oils and literally everything that we're touching and coming across throughout the day.
Ew.
Absorb as well. I know, right?
Ew.
So, and this is why, part of what I talk to people about is cleaning up your environment. If you're still cleaning with harsh chemicals that you're buying at the grocery store, your regular Tilex and Clorox bleach, whatever's, you're absorbing that stuff.
What should we clean with?
I use a lot of essential oil-based sort of things. So I'll use either the Thieves On Guard kind of combination with vinegar and water. Now, some people say that's not strong enough, but at the same time, I've also seen research that shows, something like On Guard or On Guard Cleaner not only kills the bacteria as quickly, but then they don't come back as quickly as with something like Clorox. So I like I said, I know that there's plenty of people out there that would argue with me that the only way to get things clean is Clorox, and I just don't necessarily agree with that.
Anything that will disrupt the cell wall of a bacteria will help get rid of it.
Absolutely.
So there are a lot of essential oils that do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I say, I mean, even we use, like on my floors, I'll use water, vinegar, lemon, lavender, and peppermint, because the lavender cuts the vinegar, and the lemon and the peppermint, the lemon breaks down the walls, and the peppermint just makes everything smell clean. So those kind of things, it's like, I don't know. It's like going back to our roots of like, well, what did we use to clean 100 years ago?
Exactly.
Well, I like vinegar and water. I like it. And,
It's in vinegar.
well, and having 3 dogs,
Companies make a cleaning vinegar now.
yeah. So, well, you think about it. Vinegar is in pickle juice, and pickle juice will clean you out. So if it cleans you out internally, it should clean you out externally. It just makes sense.
The quickest thing for a muscle cramp for me, I don't have one so much because I drink more water now, but the quickest thing that works for me, if I have any kind of spasmodic, whatever, pickle juice.
Spasmodic. That's a big word. Spasmodic.
Yeah.
Well, every once in a while I throw those extenuating words out there.
Who says Southern girls aren't educated? Little girl from Alabama.
Oh, please, girl, drop it. Just drop it. Educated. We are. We are learned people. Learned people.
Yeah. So the 2 quick fixes for muscle spasms and things like that, pickle juice is definitely one of them. The other thing that I know works well is like a teaspoon of mustard.
I love mustard.
I've heard that. I
love
have
it.
heard that. Yes.
I don't like it on hamburgers or hot dogs, but I love eating it by itself. Or what I really love mustard? I like to put it in a bag of popcorn and shake it up and eat it that way. What does that mean?
I haven't the slightest idea.
You should research that.
Well, that's really not that bad. They put mustard on pretzels, so
Yeah, no different.
That's good.
Yeah.
So,
But mustard contains vinegar and it contains turmeric, and there's all kinds of things in mustard.
Oh my God, that's how I was getting my turmeric, was through mustard.
Uh-huh.
Duh.
She cracks me up. It's like she wakes up in a new world every day.
I know, it's always new for me. Like, wow. And I say this, there's always something new to learn.
There is.
Always. There's always something new to learn.
So
even if you knew it from before.
So why were you taking turmeric? What was the turmeric for?
Well, turmeric is good for what?
I don't know.
Luann, you're the one that was talking about turmeric.
It helps with pain and digestion, like ginger. And
I don't like ginger, though. Ooh.
well, I used to put a slice fresh of each in my tea because the turmeric really helps with my fibromyalgia pain.
yeah, it's a fantastic anti-inflammatory.
Well, I love turmeric. I like Indian food, and they use a lot of turmeric in the Indian food and stuff, so I love that. And what they put in Indian food I love, though? Ghee, which is nothing but butter. I mean, I cannot get enough butter.
That's what that is butter?
Yeah.
Yes, without the milk solids.
Yeah, it's
that are in regular butter.
It's clarified butter.
G-E-E.
Yeah, G-H-E-E.
G-H.
G-H-E-E.
And every time we go out to an Indian restaurant, I always say put extra ghee and cilantro in my food. I always get extra cilantro and ghee. And oh my God, I'm in hog heaven. Jeez Louise.
I had no idea.
And I cannot get enough butter. I get bread, and I get a little bitty piece of bread, and I'll put 3 pats of butter on that little bitty piece of bread. It's just a way to get the butter in my mouth.
With your butter.
Huh?
You have a little bit of bread with your butter.
Exactly. Oh my God. There's nothing better than unsalted butter. I like to think that when God sent down manna, it was butter.
Well, you got a point there. Butter, yeah. Well, after listening to Audra talk about breads and stuff, I've noticed I just don't buy bread anymore. I do not purchase bread. because it makes me feel bad. Wheat bread makes me feel bad, and that's the only thing that I was eating there for a long time.
Sourdough though is a probiotic, so you could get if you want to eat bread, try sourdough because it's a probiotic food. And
that's the only thing that I use now.
Yeah.
I just don't buy that much of it anymore. It just made me feel bad.
Yeah, I have enough knowledge about this to be dangerous. So,
well, now the sourdough I did look and do the research on. Audra mentioned that as well. We're just talking about you all the time, Audra. You just don't know that
we talk about you at least 3 or 4 times a week, and
that's not what Audra said to do. So I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Yeah,
if she said to do that, you should do that.
I'm going to tell Audra you said that.
Wait till I tell her. Oh my God, she's going to say, "Oh."
All right, so if you want to come and introduce your program on the show, that'd be awesome. If you want to come and talk about cravings and why we have them and what we can do about it.
Please do. That would be so awesome. There's so many different things that happen, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Why would I want that?
All right, and so
it isn't consistent.
So here's the deal.
Audra's supposed to be here next week on Thursday.
Is next week the first?
She's
already?
the first in the.
Yes. It is.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You guys send me a list of things you crave.
Okay.
Here's what I want you to. No, we got to work this backwards, honey. Here, there's extra money on the table for you if you do this. All right. We don't pay her, so that's why it's funny. I want you to come and tell us what's wrong with us and why we need to drink more bourbon. I really need that. I don't
help you there.
I need a doctor's medical opinion on why we should drink more bourbon.
I am sure there's one out there somewhere.
Find it. That's your job. Find it. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to tell us.
Give it up, Deborah.
Damn.
I can't even come up with something really retarded to go with why you should need bourbon.
No.
You know what?
I mean,
that's
nothing
shocking.
comes to mind.
You know, that's not a politically correct term either.
And it isn't, and I realized that after I said that.
I know it. It's
I'm
hard,
old.
though. We grew up with things like that, and it's hard.
I'm old, and I do use incorrect language. But, of course, if I knew what I was craving, maybe that would help.
So you say bad things because you're craving something? Really?
Well, you never know. It could be.
Okay. All right. I know I have said some really outrageous things on this show, but that has got to be the most outrageous statement ever made on this show ever. Seriously.
Ever.
Ever.
In the 5 years that we've been doing this from a metaphysical perspective, it is the most. Yes.
All right. So, Audra, I'm going to tell you something real quick, and then you can tell us how to get a hold of you, and then we're going to all leave at the same time. We're going to start a new show, Audra. And so, and the reason I'm telling you this is how I'm promoting it on your time. It's called Unfinished Business, and we're going to start a paranormal investigation show. And we are very lucky to have someone semi-famous that's going to be on the show, Martha Decker, who has been on Jack Osborne's Portals of Hell and on several other paranormal shows. She's going to be our lead paranormal investigator. And we're going to go and see what we can find out. And I'm the professional skeptic. Go figure. And then Lou Ann is also going to help investigate, but she's also going to be a psychic medium as well on the show. And then Elizabeth. And do you know Carrie Glazer? Do you know Carrie?
Yeah,
okay.
I do know Carrie.
Carrie's going to be on the show, and they're going to be the psychic mediums. And we're going to put them on the hot seat as we go through and look at the tape of what we videotaped and see what they pick up on. So doesn't that sound cool?
Should be fun.
So if your office is haunted, or if you think you've got paranormal activity, let us know. We'll come to your office.
There's some scary things around my office, but
I think those are called patients.
Necessarily from the paranormal.
Those are called patients. Those are clients, Audra.
Yeah, those would be people walking, actually.
Parking lot. That's more so what the problem is.
Oh. All right, so tell people how to get a hold of you.
Sure, you can find us at BEZEN, BEZEN, HWC, which sounds for holisticwellnesscenter.com. So visanhwc.com. And our number is 214-551-4734.
And I highly recommend you go up there and get your blood work done. Most people do not do that often enough. They don't get the right panels checked. And that pricing is phenomenal. So go up there and get that done. I will be doing that soon myself. So
I will be too, because I think that's important. You know, when we get to a certain age, we really need to be more proactive. And I think that needs to go without saying that those of us over 65 or, you know, a little even earlier, we need to be proactive on our health. And eating clean is first.
Starting early, I mean, and I don't mean like running panels every 6 months when you're 20-something, but even starting at 20-something to keep your quality panel run so that you can see what you run low on, you know, vitamin-wise, and just make that part of your routine that you're either supplementing or that you're eating healthier. Because it's like by the time you get to in your 60s and 70s, it's like if you haven't been paying attention all along, then you've got so many problems that have already worked into the physical body, where before it was just kind of a functional issue to where it wasn't quite functioning as well, or even an energetic sort of thing. Like you just weren't quite getting the, you know, a few things that you needed. By the time there's damage to your body and they start finding it in your medical clinic or your regular doctor's office, by that point, sometimes it's hard to turn around. So, yeah, I mean, just get it checked out.
well, and
Awesome.
to support what
I'm
we
looking
do-
forward to it, actually. This is going to be great. We'll just do a whole show on.
Hey, we'll all go together
Blood work.
and do it together and do a show.
We'll all go and get our blood work done at the same time.
Can I sticker for you?
My blood's darker than yours.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Can I
You have no
sticker?
blood.
Let me sticker for you. Can I sticker? Let me sticker.
No.
To the ladies at LabCorp.
But seriously, though, what
I'm
you're
not a fan of being stuck. As long as I have to watch it, I'm okay. I don't want to see, you know.
I only have one good vein, Audra, so you got to be kind to it. It goes sideways and it rolls.
Yeah, and that's
Ooh, rolling veins.
I do.
That's why
Ooh.
guys to places like LabCorp or Quest, because those ladies, they stick lots of veins every single day. They are quick and it's painless compared to, you know, lots of other places that I've been. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
it's done and over with before you even know what hits you. So
Yeah.
Well, I always
It's
look
tough.
forward to the Thursdays because you're always informative. You always keep me interested. I like that. And also you make the other ladies behave. They always are on their best behavior when you're around. So I appreciate that because, you know, they're so rowdy.
Yes, we are. We do try to behave. Oh, behave.
Oh, behave.
Behave.
We should do a show one day and there's nothing more than movie quotes and see who can get the most right.
Well, we need to call Jenny J. Jenny J is another one that I banter back and forth with when we're talking about stuff. We just go into, especially Young Frankenstein.
I love Young
Put the
Frankenstein.
candle back. Okay, that's my show for today.
Werewolf.
Be sure and eat the big
Werewolf. I love that show. All right, everybody say
what
bye.
big knockers. Oh, thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor. She said it. I
Would
had
you
it.
care for some Ovaltine? No, thank you. I'm fine.
I can help you with that hump. What hump?
Are you sure that's not Frankenstein?
Okay, we've just lost our minds.
Be close to the candles.
Oh.
The stairs can be treacherous.
Oh my God, I laughed so hard. Now I have a spasm in my abdomen. Oh shit.
Sorry.
Oh my God, it hurts.
I think you're lacking in B vitamin.
I need some mustard.
Vitamin D.
oh God, the mustard.
No, I've been digging rocks for the past 2
Mustard.
days, so now my muscles are like, going, you want us to work? What the hell is wrong with you? We don't work.
Audra, thank you so much for putting up with this insanity.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Seriously, thank you so much.
So we thank you.
I just enjoy you coming on the show. It's awesome.
We thank you, Audra, for being with us, and we thank everybody watching for being with us. So help us support others, both those who need services. We obviously need some services, but I'm not saying which ones.
It is most obvious.
And also those who offer gifts, talents, and services by liking our page on Facebook. We're only 110 away from 1,000. Go like our Facebook page, damn it. And then subscribe to the YouTube.
110, really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we're knocking on the door.
Don't you know 110 people?
That's awesome.
Don't you know 110 people? Go tell them to like it.
Yeah, and they've all signed up.
No, they haven't.
I hit those people. I hit that 110 people first. Go out there and like that page. Go like the page, and if you change your mind, just leave it alone. You don't have to. You don't have to watch this anymore. Just go like the page.
You don't even have to like it. Just lie. Just
you don't have to like it. Just like the page. Just that one page. That's all we're asking.
It's not like
it doesn't cost you anything.
No,
it's not like for $49.95 like this page. No, it's free. It's free.
What the hell is she doing?
I need to go eat. Obviously, I think something's getting low.
Breathe, Elizabeth. Breathe. Take a breath, for God's sake.
There's Facebook like, and there's the rest of the world like actually like, but that's okay. So just Facebook like.
Well, okay, so seriously, look me in my eye and tell me that you've never lied about something. So whether you like us or not, just go like the damn page.
Absolutely.
Explain.
Like our page and make other people mad. That's what you can do.
Absolutely. Show them. Okay.
Absolutely.
What the hell?
Show them I like that page. I don't care if it made you mad or not.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, that damn Deborah Rose. I don't like her, but I like the page because I like Elizabeth.
That works?
Of course. Of course. Now you really embarrass me. Okay. All right, it's time to go.
All right, I'm done. I'm not going to finish reading it. It's boring. I'm done with it. So
I give up.
Everybody say goodbye.
I give up.
Bye, y'all. I'm hitting finish.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.